Hi, my name is John Salavatos, and on behalf of the Montechusett Suicide Prevention Task Force, I'd like to talk to you today about the Ride of Your Life event for this year. Because of the pandemic, we've decided to postpone the actual physical event that we usually have on the third Sunday in August. Instead, we've come up with an idea for something that's more of an alternative. Essentially, we're going to call this alternative the Ride of Your Life Wind Therapy Challenge. So essentially, this video is an introduction to the Wind Therapy Challenge. I'm going to show you the route as we would have run it if we had gotten together in August, and basically do some narration at the stops relevant to directions and things along that line. But you can find the directions for the actual route on our Facebook page and also on the task force's primary website page at suicidepreventiontaskforce.org. But this Wind Therapy Challenge, what we want you to do is to take your bikes, or if you've got other vehicles that you'd like to use, you can do that. But between July 1st and Labor Day weekend, we'd like you to actually run the route, stop at the motorcycle shops like Higgins Power Sports in Barre and Cycle Design in Phillipston, Mass. Take a break at those locations, go in and let people know that you're actually participating in the Ride of Your Life Wind Therapy Challenge. Take some pictures of yourself and share those pictures with us on Facebook. So the idea of this is really just to keep folks connected. We didn't like the idea of going for a couple of years without you actually being involved and sending some information out and trying to do something that would still promote the spirit of the Ride of Your Life event. So for now, I'm hoping to see folks out on the road, maybe see some of your postings on Facebook, but enjoy the video as much as you can and check out the directions. And like I said, between July 1st and Labor Day weekend, try to run the route. Or if you have other routes that you'd like to run, do that, take some pictures, and again, share them with us so that we can just all stay connected in this current environment. This is John Salavatos again, and we're actually at our starting point at 1050 Westminster Road. Actually just on the Westminster-Fitchburg line. We're going to be leaving in a couple of seconds here to actually head on Route 2 from Fitchburg into Westminster. Our route is actually going to take us up into Westminster a little bit and then over into Princeton. We're going to take a right onto Mountain Road and actually head up alongside Mount Wachusett and then hit Princeton Center. At Princeton Center, we're going to grab Route 62. 62 is going to take us to Route 68. When we get to 68, we're going to be taking a left onto 68 and following that up towards Rutland a bit and take a right onto Route 56. 56 is going to take us into the center of Rutland. And actually in the center of Rutland, we're going to grab 122A. We're going to go down into the state park in that area, and that's going to blend into 122. And 122 will take us into Higgins. We're going to stop there for a few minutes and then continue on with our route. Remember, when you're traveling, try to avoid any kind of like groups, practice safe distancing. We want to also thank, again, Higgins Power Sports and also Cycle Design for allowing us to have some time to actually stop at their places and to use those places as rest stops during this ride. Remember, when you're on the ride, take some pictures of yourselves at some of these different stops and send them in to us. Our website is suicidepreventiontaskforce.org, but we also have a Facebook page. And the directions for this route are also on our website and Facebook page as well. So enjoy yourself, and we'll see you in a few more minutes. Hey there, me again. Just actually finishing up the first leg of our trip. We just went from Monty Tech down Fitchburg, Westminster line, and came about a 40-45 minute trip to Higgins Power Sports in Barre, Mass. Hopefully you have enjoyed the trip so far. Once I get back on my bike again, we're going to be heading up through Barre Center, and we're going to grab Pleasant Street off of 32. This is a little different than rides in the past. Just for your information, most of the rides we do have different routes. There's only been a couple years where literally we've used the same route back to back. So this year's route is a little different than what you've probably seen before, and Pleasant Street is definitely a new part of the route that we haven't done in the past. Taking Pleasant Street's in good shape. It's a back road that leads to Petersham Center. Once we get to Petersham Center, we're going to take a right at the general store on to 32. I'm going to take a brief break at Quabbin Retreat in Petersham just for myself, but then I'm going to continue on down 32 till we get to Athol. I'm going to take a right onto 2A when we get to the end of 32, where it blends into to 2A, and we're going to follow that road down to Cycle Design. Once we're at Cycle Design, I'll do another little brief video to tell you about the rest of the route back to our starting point at 1050 Westminster Road in Fitchburg at Monty Tech, and then I'll do probably an end to this video back at Haywood Hospital just to give you some more information on the ride itself. So we'll see you in a few minutes. We've just arrived at Cycle Design and completed the second leg of our trip. Once you actually get here, take a break for a few minutes and try to go inside and mention to the staff that you're participating in the ride of your life. Once you get ready to leave, you're going to be taking a right out of the driveway and continuing on to 2A. Before we get to Templeton Center, there's going to be a right-hand turn, Patriots Road, that you're going to take that'll bring you up towards Templeton Center. Once you get through Templeton Center, just stay on 2A. 2A is going to bring you back down through Gardner. We're going to hit an intersection down at Timpani Plaza. We're going to go straight through that intersection. And then a couple of miles down the road, we're going to hit Westminster. You're going to go down through Westminster Center, and you're going to keep on following 2A until you get to the edge of town. Essentially, you're going to hit the same intersection that we went through when we left Monty Tech, except this time you're going to be hitting it and taking a left-hand turn back down towards Monty Tech. When you get to Monty Tech, you're free to do whatever you'd like to at that point. We're going to actually do the video all the way to Monty Tech, and then I'm going to do another segment just to wrap things up back at the hospital at Haywood Healthcare back in Gardner. So we'll see you again in a few minutes. We just completed the third leg of our trip, and We stopped at Monty Tech for a brief second, but I decided to come back here to Haywood Hospital just to do the final segment at Haywood, just to remind folks that without Haywood Healthcare, the Massachusetts Suicide Prevention Task Force, and in turn the ride of your life, probably wouldn't happen. So this is essentially our 8th year, and even though we've had a bump in the road this year with the pandemic, we're hoping that next year we'll be back in full swing with doing the full ride like you're used to. If this is your first time exposed to the ride of your life, we usually do it the 3rd Sunday in August of every year. But again, this is kind of a different year for us, so we're hoping that this gives an alternative for staying connected and remind folks that we're still out there and we're still interested in being out on the road with you and giving you an alternative to kind of participate in. So like I said before in some of the earlier segments, when you stop at the motorcycle shops, just let them know that you're there for the part of the ride of your life. If you can take photos, selfies, or whatever you want to, let us know about things, post them to our Facebook site. Check out our suicidepreventiontaskforce.org website for more information about the task force. And if you've got an opportunity to come to one of our meetings or essentially contribute in some way by the information that you share relevant to the Roots or things that you'd like to be doing for Roots in the future, feel free to share that with us as well. But for now, I want to say thanks and goodbye. And as always, thanks for your support. Take care and stay safe.